This time we're going to be looking at the Brightwork.
Hello, welcome to Jerry Motorsport. I'm Jerry. Let's get started.
So the metalwork on the Midget isn't the greatest. It's never been re-chromed in all the time I've known the car. It's just been sat around in the garage. So there is a bit of pitting in it, tiny little pieces of sort of spot rust and things like that. It's not worth re-chroming at this stage. We're not going for a concours car. This is a competition car ultimately. We're going to trial out the different methods for cleaning. I've got normal chrome cleaner, I've got wire wool, and a lot of people have been talking about using aluminium. Right, on this corner of the rear bumper I have just cleaned that conventionally the way I would have done normally, which is with the metal paste from Autosol, a cotton rag, and I've also used a buffing wheel. Now it's not coming out very clearly on the video, but what you have got here are a number of little pits and little rust spots. There's quite a prominent piece just here, you can see that on the video, another one here. Right, so I've got a trigger spray with just slightly soapy water in it, my aluminium foil which I've sort of crunched up a bit and trying to make it into a little bit of a pad, and I'm just going to, oh that feels awful. It just goes against everything I've ever done with cars. It feels just way too rough to be doing that. However, in the interests of experimentation, I'm going to stick with that, see what it does. Noise! Oh my gosh. It's getting easier now. That wiped off another comparison. Goodness. It's still got spots in it, but it doesn't seem quite as bad as this section over here. It's probably not coming out very well on the video. There's little dots at the top here. Obviously the chrome really does need to be replaced as the ultimate answer, but just here there's some spots. It's similar to here, but they don't look quite so bad. There's a few scratches in the chrome. The starring. If we can see that, let's try and zoom in. It's like a burst of starriness. Just see the lines here in this area. I'm going to try that side now with the pad of aluminium. See how that goes. So a bit more soapy water on there. I think it's important that it keeps lubrication. I'm not sure if I should be doing circular motion or linear. Some places I've got to do linear to get it in there. But okay. Well, they're still there, the starriness, but it's nowhere near as bad. Yeah. Right, so of the two sides, the aluminium foil and water does, I have to admit, look better, certainly shinier, although I'm not convinced that I don't have some new scratches in it. The side that I cleaned conventionally does have scratches on it, but I think there are more scratches on the aluminium side. The finish in terms of rust is certainly better with aluminium, but in terms of looking after the chrome, I'm not sure it's doing great things to the chrome. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can improve the scratches. Essentially, the aluminium is a very quick and easy way of getting rid of the rust, but I say I'm a bit concerned about what it's doing to the metalwork. See if I can get these rust spots out with the conventional polishing method. You can hear it going over the rust spots, whereas if it goes to the aluminium foil rub section, there's none of that at all. And the polish does get it out, but it's an awful lot more work. So perhaps it's the aluminium to start, conventional methods to finish. A few little smears on it, but I'll get rid of those. It's not actually too bad as chrome goes. So this section is chrome cleaner only, and then as we move down, this becomes the aluminium section. The overrider I haven't done. Now you can see the difference in the two. Not sure what I'm going to do with that side. The wire wool method I think is just way too harsh. If it was a Brillo pad type plastic pad I might do it. Just given how soft the aluminium is by comparison and what that's done on this side. Let's see if I can try and catch some of those scratches. You can see the scratches here. I'm not really sure if they were there before, but I'm pretty convinced they weren't like that, and you can see them there. Then you go to the conventional polish method. There really aren't any scratches at all in that. So I don't think, personally, the aluminium ultimately is doing great things for my chrome work. It has cleaned it up, it was easier, but I think ultimately the best results come with hard work, elbow grease. So it does work. I'm not dismissing it entirely. I actually used it on some chrome work in the house on the shower. It did a really good job. Soapy water on the overrider. Let's try the wire method, wire wool. There is a soap in this wire wool. Oh. Loads of little speckles. Don't feel rough to the touch. Okay, so that's been steel gently and then aluminium. Certainly the advantage of the aluminium is the mess that you get with a cream cleaner. Sometimes things like the rubber can be a bit awkward to clean off, but they still wash off I suppose, but that's average. I mean, that overrider is not great. I think what's important with bumpers that are like this is that if you clean them up, it's what you do then afterwards. So if I just left that, that's just basically going to go rusty in the same places again. So it needs like a wax on it. So I'm going to do that. Okay, on this side, which we've done nothing on, I'm going to use, well, there we go, the Auto Glim that I've got, which I normally use. Let's do this outside, that's worse. Okay. Now the buffing wheel just sprays stuff everywhere. Yeah, it takes a bit of the effort out, but it wasn't more work cleaning off the splatter. These metal cleaners don't really clean off the rusty spots without hard effort. See the sort of specklediness going. It's certainly way better than that was before. And I've got the front bumpers to do as well, but I think that's as good as the section that I did with the aluminium, but I don't feel like I've scratched it at all, and I just need to work harder on the areas that have actually got rust on them. Okay, I'm just going to apply a wax to protect this because the metal's still exposed. It's clean, it's just metal that's no longer chromed, so that needs protection to stop it going rusty again, or not go so rusty so quickly. Right, this is the steel wool that I've been using, which is just a household cleaning steel wool, and it's a bit harsh, and it's not quite the right one on further investigation. I should be using quadruple zero grade wire wool, so I'm going to be using that instead on the front bumper. Wow, the overriders have responded well to that. A bit of rust there. You can see that spot of rust. Let's see if we can get that out. There's a bubble underneath it. Alright, it's just gone. Hasn't got rid of the bubble obviously, but this comes off in seconds. that has come up an absolute treat. Much better than I imagined it was going to. And we spent a bit of time on the old car, just making that really smart, really important on the car of this era, 1930. Did a great job on these wing mirrors as well. So in terms of fixing Brightwork using aluminium foil, personally, it's not for me. I don't like it. Doing it the old way that I always used to do it with the polish works just fine. It's an awful lot of elbow grease, and in a few cases on the rear bumper on the Midget I did get a bit of scraping going on. Now that might have been from the edges of doing it with the foil and the slightly coarser steel wool that I had tried. Now the secret I ultimately established is it's very, very fine. So the quadruple zero grade wire wool has done an absolutely marvellous job. It is almost too easy. Okay, it's just removing the rust, it's not putting back chrome, but it has returned the brightness to the car. If you look closely you can see it, and you can certainly feel the roughness where the corrosion has occurred. So it has not fixed it, but in order to make it look nice, it has done a really good job. So if you're looking for a quick way of cleaning chrome, quadruple zero grade steel wire wool does work. It does work very well. It does leave a residue everywhere of little metal filings. So a pad like that disintegrates to a little mop like this, and you get this weird residue. So I'll just try and get that. It's like fluff from a tumble dryer. Incidentally, the wire wool is also very good at cleaning glass, and it really has knocked off bug splats and all sorts of things that I had on the 1930s car and the Midget actually. So the headlights on the Midget, for example, were really well cleaned with that wire wool too. So that's it for this episode. I hope you found that interesting. It was a bit of a follow-up I had after something I'd seen on another channel. I thought it would be interesting on this channel, so I did my investigations. Didn't like the use of the aluminium foil. Wire wool worked to a certain extent, but you've got to have that fine grade. So yeah, good luck if you're cleaning chrome, and obviously the best answer, if you want the best finish, is to have it re-chromed. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. More from the channel coming soon. Thank you very much.